Hi everybody, Hugh Jackman here. I know you're going to have a fantastic night at the award ceremony for Faith Shorts. I so wish I could be with you. I couldn't be there last year, and this year I can't be here because, as you can see, I'm on the stage. If you pan around, you can see, yes, it's alright. We've actually finished the show. It's like I haven't got an audience at all. But listen, it's a great honour for me to be part of Faith Shorts. It's the second year I've been judging. This year I was judging the action category. I don't want to give away any surprises, but let me just say there were so many entries and they were really inspiring. And I know there's a lot of filmmakers out there that I'll eventually be auditioning for at some point. So remember me. But I think Faith Shorts is a really important competition. I think it's wonderful for people all around the world to express what their faith means to them and to do it through such a universal way, through film, through just simple flip cam, whatever. It's just wonderful. So congrats to all the organisers. You're doing an amazing job. To all the entrants, particularly the finalists, special congratulations. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you next year. Have a great night.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage your host for this evening, June Sarpong.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second annual Faith Shorts Film Awards. I'm delighted to see you all here and to welcome you to BAFTA on this very special occasion. It's a night of celebration of films, young talent, and of the inspiration that faith plays. It's also an occasion which has global impact. We've received entries from all over the world, from Southern California to Singapore. Oh yes, we have indeed. You can see a camera behind you. If you look behind you, you can see a camera. It's because you are lucky enough to be joined by people from all over the world who are watching us on live stream. And that's on the Tony Blair Faith Foundation's website. There are entrants from all over the world, and they are holding their own mini BAFTA events in their living rooms. So say hi to everyone in Delhi, Beirut, Toronto, New York, and even Leeds. So say hi, everyone, because they're all watching. Hello! So for those of you that are watching us on live stream, please feel free to send us your messages and questions through the Faith Foundation's Facebook and Twitter. Faith Shorts is organised by the Tony Blair Faith Foundation in conjunction with Deepak Verma from Pukanasha Films. So I'd like to invite the patron of the Tony Blair Faith Foundation. I'm sure you all know who that is because it's his name that's the title of the foundation. So will you please put your hands together for Tony Blair?
Thank you, June. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for coming along to this second annual event, Faith Shorts. It's actually been a much bigger event than last year. We want an even bigger event next year, so it's doing really, really well. I'd like to thank June very much for coming and hosting this all the way from New York. June just reminded me, by the way, that when we first met, she was 19, which is kind of a difficult thing for a politician to admit to, really, meeting a 19-year-old June Sarpong. Anyway, it was a very good meeting.
Long time ago.
Yeah, and perfectly proper meeting, I can assure you. In case there anybody here from the tabloid media, so yeah, let's start that one going away. So what we ask people to do is, we've got a 3-minute film. Let me show you how my faith inspires me, was the title we had for this. And we got an enormous range of different films, as June was saying, from all around the world, that dealt with everything from love and loss and debt and shopping and gardening, believe it or not, and rapping, as you will see later. And all of them had this one thing in common, that they were made by people who wanted to say how their faith inspired them to do good, how their faith inspired them to change the world for the better, to make a difference, and how this is a very powerful emotion comes through all of these films, how they wanted to show people how whatever stereotypes people had of faith or of individual faith, those stereotypes were wrong and could be broken down, and faith could be better understood as a source of compassion and humanity. And basically what you have in the world today, and this is the whole reason for starting the foundation, is you sometimes have faith identified with conflict, and you sometimes have faith identified with compassion. And one is about the service of others, and the other is about excluding others, right? And those are the two faces of faith. And the one that these films show is faith as a motivator to do good in the service of others, to look at humanity in all its different myriad forms with different races and ethnicities and faiths and say, actually, whatever difference we have, there is something that we share in common, which is a space in which we have to live peacefully and coexist peacefully with one another, to live with each other, to learn from each other, and to work with each other. So that's what the foundation's about, and it's got a very, very simple message at the heart of it. And everywhere I look in the world today, I see this basic question, which is, can that, what I think is, in fact, the predominant motivator of faith, which is a desire to do good in the service of others, can that triumph over and expunge this image that is often shown, and shown sometimes, I'm afraid, for reasons that are understandable, of faith as a source of division and discord. So that's what this is about. And I think the 21st century is unlikely to be a century of fundamental political clashes. I think there will be lots of different political debates, but the 20th century is where I think wars will be created around political ideology, but I think the 21st century runs the risk, as globalization pushes us together, of faith and religion being something that pulls us apart. So what we want to show through our foundation, what these films demonstrate, is the young people who are the future, how they're showing that actually their religious faith has shown them a way to live their lives better and to do good for others. Now, I would like to thank immensely everyone who's been engaged in all of this. Ruth and her team from the Faith Foundation, who've done just a fantastic and marvelous job in putting it all together. When they first came to me with this idea, I thought it was impossible, but they have always shown how to do the impossible and make it possible. I'd like to thank our judges, not just Hugh and Wendy and others who aren't with us here, but the Grand Mufti, Dawn French, who I have to say, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I'll be seeing less of you. He's extraordinary. Wonderful to see you, Dawn. Omid, Nick, David Putnam, and others who've given their time to come and judge this competition and make it a reality. I also like to thank our generous sponsors and supporters, Jonathan Kaplan, the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, the National Film and Television School, YouTube, Silverfish, and Amar Badra. We're also extremely grateful to all of you for coming along this evening. We're going to have a great evening. There's some wonderful and inspirational films, actually. And I have to admit that the extraordinary high standard of the films submitted made life very difficult for the judging panel. It obviously includes me. But as you will see this evening, you can't help but be inspired by their energy, their insight, and their power. So I hope you enjoy the evening. Over to you, June. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tony. I'd now like to invite to the stage Deepak Verma of Pukanasha Films.
Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Faith Shorts was so successful last year that's now an annual event. And I very much share Tony's belief in the importance of faith in the modern world, and that faith is very much the glue that can bring us together despite the various different ways it becomes manifest. And that was very much the driving factor for me when creating this competition with the Faith Foundation. And working in film, I'm very aware that films rarely address the complex issues surrounding faith. And I think no one is better equipped to take on this difficult task than the youth of today. And as you will see from the films tonight, faith not only means different things to different people, it's also expressed in different ways, very, very different ways. And one of the films, My Name is Tayyab, from a 14-year-old boy living in the Northwest, explores Islamophobia through his film. He tries to dispel the assumption that if you follow Islam, you're a terrorist. Islam is a religion of peace. The actions of a few should not define a whole religion, the main character in the film says. And he's sitting in the audience tonight alongside another shortlisted filmmaker, Ala Al-Udari, whose film Hope and Justice explored her sorrow and depression as she heard horrifying stories of innocent people being tortured and killed recently in Libya. And as we saw in her film, it was her faith that reminded her that in every hardship there can also be hope, justice and peace. And like Tony, I've been amazed, astounded at the results and the creativity, talent and honesty of the entrants. Thank you all for coming tonight. And here is a quick compilation of the 14 shortlisted entrants.
Thank you very much, Deepak. And I think you'll agree that the diversity and breadth of these films was absolutely astonishing. I mean, you're really going to enjoy them when you see them a little bit later. So, right now, if we move a little bit on the auto cue. Yes, she has done. Have you? There you go. I think you'll remember one of the things that I think you all should sort of bear in mind is that the films you're going to see in a moment are actually made by people that are under 18. So just to see the astonishing sort of degree of the talent of these young people is something that we should all be very impressed by. So I think it's only right that we give them all another little round of applause because some of them are actually watching via live stream. Yes! Well done, all of you that are watching around the world. And we want to give an extra special mention to those that are watching from India because we received more than 60 entries from India alone. And a lot of people that entered last year entered again this year and upped their game even further. So to those of you in India, the 60 of you in India, thank you very much for entering. So another round of applause for them. And I was in India earlier this year. I love your country and I plan on coming back, so I'll be calling all 60 of you. Anyway, moving on to the first award of the evening, which is Action. This award is for a filmmaker that shows how their faith has inspired them to take action. So I'd like to welcome onto the stage a fabulous woman. She's a writer, she's an actress, she's a producer, and she's oh so funny and in looking Fabulous. Can you please put your hands together for Dawn French?
Thanks, June. Thanks very much. As a judge, I was incredibly impressed with the high standard of films in this category and the evident passion and energy and knowledge that shone through. They were, in fact, a pleasure to watch. And if it was my call, everybody would get a jelly and a medal. But you've just been mean, Mr. Blair. But there has to be a winner, and the winner of the Faith Shorts 2011 Action category is Amna Aslam for Mohammed in Accrington, Inspiring Me. And I think we're going to have a look at it now.
Mercy inspires me.
His leadership inspires me.
His love for the environment inspires me.
His family values inspire me. His smile inspires me.
His character inspires me.
His patience inspires me.
His romance inspires me. His kindness inspires me.
He's the one who came to perfect my noble character.
It's his journey.
It's his message.
And his love for humanity inspires us in Accrington.
What inspires me about the Prophet, peace be upon him, is his family values. He was a kind and affectionate husband and an excellent father figure.
I really like the example of whenever he used to come back from one of his journeys, he used to visit his daughter's houses and kiss them on the foreheads. It just shows how much love and compassion he had for them.
One thing that inspires me about the Prophet, peace be upon him, is his romance. I really like the story of how he would take a morsel of food and put it into his wife's mouth, and sometimes he would drink from the same glass as his wife did to increase the bond.
One thing that inspired me about the Prophet, peace be upon him, is that he always encouraged noble character. For example, he once said, "The best of you are the ones that are well-mannered and generous."
So I'd like to welcome Amna to the stage to receive her trophy and perhaps say a few words. Hey, here she is. It's a lovely, big, chunky bit of glass. Well done, well done. There you are.
Yeah.
Thank
thank you so much for this award. I am so pleased that people liked our film and we had a lot of fun making it. It is a real honour for me to collect this award today, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who helped in the planning and the filming. Thank you to my teachers, Waka Ahmed, Wakas Ali and Haley Nungley. My aim was to show a positive message about Islam and chose to do it on the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I believe his teachings and his messages are a real inspiration and they have a universal appeal. The process has helped me to discover more about my faith. I value the opportunity to show how proud I am of my religion. Thank you once again.
Congratulations, Amna. Now, I know you were the lead filmmaker, but this was also a group effort, and your classmates, who we just saw in that film, are here too. So can you please put your hands together, everyone, for the class of Hollins Technology College. Stand up, guys. Yay! Woo! Wow. Well done, well done. And we have a little message for you from someone who's also from the Northwest and wanted to send you a personal congratulations. So if you look to the screen, he shot it with his mobile phone, which is quite impressive. We have a message from Amir Khan. I know, right?
Hi everyone, my name is Amir Khan. I'm sorry I can't be there this evening. I'm in Los Angeles training for my next fight on December 10th. But I hope you're all having a great evening. I want to congratulate everyone there tonight, and especially the young people from Hollins Technology College, my neck of woods, on winning the action category. And it's a great thing that you're all doing. I've always said before that I want young Muslims to follow my footsteps. And the Northwest have, they've done me proud, and I hope you're having a great evening tonight. And like I said, well done to everyone there from Hollins Technology College, and I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you.
That's not bad going, is it, Hollins Technology College? And he shot that just before his upcoming fight. Now, I'm just hoping he doesn't ruin that face, because that's a nice face. Keep that face. Anyway, now moving on to the family category, I'd like to welcome to the stage another one of the competition's illustrious judges, someone who knows a lot about filmmaking. Will you please put your hands together to Nick Powell, who is the director of the National Film and Television School. Nick?
Good evening, everybody. The other week, I was fortunate enough to get a lift to the station from a bishop. I'd never had a lift from the station from a bishop. And he told me this story. He said to me, Nick, you remember the dark days of the Troubles in Northern Ireland, and you remember that the IRA always gave, not always, but mostly often gave a 5-minute warning before they would set off a bomb, and to enable people, obviously, to clear out. And he said to me, well, Nick, if we cut forward to the time and after the Troubles, one of your really great achievements was to bring us from that era into the present era of Northern Ireland. He said, very sadly, Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness, the leaders of the IRA, were killed in a car crash. And he said to me, Nick, they reached heaven, and St. Peter said to them, look, you have a very violent past there. You can't come into heaven. There must be some mistake. And Martin McGuinness said, no, there's not a mistake. We're not coming here to get in. We're coming here to give you
we're coming here to give you 5 minutes to get out. And the moral of the story, for me, is these are two men who came, whose early lives were full of violence and fighting for something that they believed in, and the latter part of their life, of course, has been spent unifying the Northern Ireland with just a little helping hand from Tony Blair, a big, big helping hand from Tony Blair. So moving on, all of the films in the family category, you know, looked at how their family, their friends, and the people they met were living through their faith. Each film showcased how faith affected their actions very clearly and very powerfully. And congratulations to you all. The winner is Paulo Reyes. His film is called First Steps to Recovery. And now let's see the film.
Thanks.
Hi, Matthew. I'm Yasmin.
Hi.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
I'm okay. Mind if I ask you a few questions today?
Yeah, sure.
So, Matthew, could you tell us about yourself? How old are you? Do you like any sports or music?
Actually, I just turned 13 last night. And on my 12th birthday, I found out I was diagnosed with cancer. And before that, I was actively into sports like football with my friends.
So you have to go through therapy all the time, right? How do you feel about it?
Actually, it hurts me at times. Like, makes me tired, wears me off, and makes me like sometimes feel like I just want to give up on life. But I know that God's in control in my life right now, and He's taking care of me, so I'm just really thankful for that.
Do you think you'll get better?
Yeah, I sure hope I do. But right now, I'm just really comfortable knowing that He's in control in my life, and I'm just praying for a miracle.
Matthew, are you afraid of death?
No, I'm not afraid of death. Right now, I'm just really thankful for everything in my life, and I'm just thankful that God has given me that little bit much more to live. And no matter what happens, I'll just be thankful for everything, and I know I'll be with Him.
Good evening, doctor. About my chemotherapy. I'm ready.
So I'd like to welcome the maker of this incredibly moving and powerful film, Paulo, to the stage to receive his award and say a few words.
It's been a dream of me to actually come here to the BAFTA, even just to visit, and it's incredible now that I'm receiving an award here. And I'd just like to say that my real desire for this film, I mean, even more than the award, my desire for this film is to go places and touch the hearts and lives of people, regardless of what religion or what belief they have. And with that, I'd just like to thank God for bringing me here. And none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for him. I'd like to thank the Blair Faith Foundation for the hospitality and for giving me this opportunity. I'd also like to thank my friends and family, especially my dad, who's been with me throughout the whole journey process. I love you, Dad. And I'd like to also dedicate this film to all the Filipinos around the world their faith continuously inspires me. Despite all the troubles and hardships our country has to face, I still believe that we are the happiest people on earth. And thank you.
Well, Paolo, we know you've flown a very long way to be with us here tonight, all the way from the Philippines. And I know that you're very proud to be representing your country. But I think your country is very proud to have you representing them. Oh, yes. We have a little surprise for you. A message from the Secretary of Education of the Philippines, Brother Armin Luistro. Have a look at this. Dad, I think you'll like this one.
Well, congratulations, Paolo, for winning this very important award. I know, as the title of your film, it's First Steps Towards Recovery, but I think this film too will be one of your initial steps towards stardom. I'm very proud as a fellow Filipino to congratulate you on this initial award, which I hope will allow us and many more of your countrymen to watch more of your other films which you will produce in the future. What makes this film very important for me personally, and maybe for many of our young Filipinos, is the fact that it talks about trust, it talks about faith, not just in a positive light, but also from the point of view of what young people experience even today. Doubt, darkness, anxiety, and many other very real problems. I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. I believe in love, even when I can't feel it. And perhaps at this day and age, that's one central message that young people are looking toward. Faith in a God that moves us, even if He does not pull us through the problems that we face today. I think that's a very positive experience of what young people must keep hearing about. Congratulations, Paolo. The Philippines is behind you, not only for this film, but in the other films that you will be working on for the next stage of your life.
Congratulations, Paolo. Well done. Okay, now to present the final category award tonight, which is the musical category, I would like to welcome to the stage an actor, writer, and comedian. And he is, like, so funny, it's ridiculous. Will you please put your hands together to Omid Jalali and be nice.
What, you guys will be nice to me, or me be nice to them? I'll be nice. No, it's a real honor for me to be here. I'm a lot of people who know my stand-up comedy and know my work. A foundation like this is very close to my heart because as I was born and raised as a Baha'i, which believes that all the main religions come from the same God. If God exists, He is one God, and all the religions are basically different chapters of the same book. And I think this is shown in a film. I don't know if anyone saw the film The Infidel. Did anyone see that? It was a film about a Muslim who finds out he's a Jew. Interesting film. And it was funny because there's a Muslim who finds out his name is Solly Shimshilowitz. And a Jewish guy says, why don't they just call you Jewy, Jew, and be done with it?
And it's a film which was done with David Baddiel, famous Jew who's a staunch atheist as well. He said if Richard Dawkins is a 9 out of 10 atheist, he's a 10 out of 10 atheist. But he's not anti-religion. He believes religion is a force for good. So he's one of those atheists who doesn't believe religion is a bad thing. And I think the film, a lot of people asked us both, can Muslims and Jews work together? Because I think the film shows that they're all part of the same Semitic race. And I said, yeah, Muslims and Jews, of course they can work together. If only Jews weren't so annoying. I've got nothing against Jews. Some of my best friends are anti-Semitic. But I'm joking. But you see, this is also in jokes, as we have in the media. You have to be very careful because I think I'd like to just speak up for my Muslim brothers and sisters that I've campaigned tirelessly to try and get the BBC to remove, and they have now, whenever they report a terrorist act, is to call them Muslim terrorists. They say today a Muslim terrorist blew up something, and I always say terrorism has nothing to do with Islam. Osama bin Laden wasn't speaking for Muslims; he was speaking for nutters. I think it's important because I think people would have been up in arms. We never referred to the IRA as Catholic terrorists, and I think people would have been up in arms if during the war we said, Germany was brought to its knees after a Church of England firebombing of Dresden, and Japan surrendered after a Southern Baptist nuclear attack on Hiroshima. As the BBC, people would be up in arms if tomorrow the BBC said, today in Liverpool, some typical Scousers robbed a bank. Thank you. I thought that deserved a bigger laugh, actually, to be honest. Unless those Scousers were Muslims, that's a very different thing. Because Scouse Muslims are actually funny. I don't know if you've seen them. There's an imam in Merseyside. He goes, all right, welcome to my mosque. He's always saying, he goes, we're very liberal here. I mean, he says, who wants to pray 5 times a day? You've got one prayer mat. It'll be threadbare in a week. I mean, come on. And you're supposed to pray towards Mecca. I mean, which one? There's 2 on our high street. What's going on? But I could do jokes all night. But it's a real honor. It's a real honor to present the musical category. And I'd like to just say that it was a very, very strong category. And I'd like to present the award to the winner. And I've already said that I'm a Baha'i, and this is in no way a fix. But the winner is someone who's a Baha'i, a 14-year-old Baha'i. Who's done this wonderful film called Be the Change You Want to See. Congratulations to Nadim Merrick of the Dapper Rappers. And please watch the video.
Tristan on the track.
I have so much to say, I leave so much unsaid, but I have debts to pay, so I just hang my head, and I live that life, just to make that bread. I could do so much, I'll do nothing instead.
Look at my TV, dismayed by what I see. Bloodshed for democracy, political theocracy. Gotta recognize the oneness of you and me. Human connectivity, put faith in collectivity.
In the hardest times we gotta remember to pray. Then you feel like nothing can stand in your way. You once thought your good life was contradictory. You prayed to God and turned your crisis into victory.
My old me's gone, I held the burial. This is my new faith, it's not material. That sound foreign, extraterrestrial. It's not from this world, man, it's celestial.
Want change? Be it. Sounds strange? Believe it. Too hard? Achieve it. God's grace? Receive it.
Here I go, empowered, Joe. Old world's been devoured, so without a race, I see God's face. I see God's face in every place. Whoa, 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 it's not a race. Take your time, get God's grace. Set the tone, set that pace. Find that path that you will trace.
The writings tell us how to be, how to live spiritually. Plant not but the rose of love, that is how it's got to be. Take this thought, reflect, turn it into reality. Deeds, not words, be the change you want to see.
Inspiring junior youth, and giving opportunity, joining hands in unity to serve their community, develop power of expression using creativity, taking these young years and increasing productivity.
Look to the grassroots, we see these new shoots. The future of change is with the world's youth. We've got capacity, tenacity, audacity. Change, it will multiply. Start with your locality.
Want change? Be it. Sounds strange? Believe it. Too high? Achieve it. God's grace? Receive it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please will you welcome Nadim Merrick, the winner.
You know, we're all trying to promote the same thing, and that is how we can find a way to promote faith in our everyday lives. The finalists in my category, they were all of different faiths, but we were still working to try to build a better world. Baha'u'llah, who is the founder of the Baha'i faith, says that all men have been created to carry forth an ever-advancing civilization. It's important that we take these words and we turn them into deeds and we be the change we want to see. And with that, I'd like to say thank you to all the people who were in our video, Blair Cameron, Cheyenne Majidi, and Sabah Shah Muhammad Lu. I'd like to thank all my family and friends for all the support. The thousands of viewers who have hopefully used this video as inspiration to be the change in their community. And I'd like to thank Tony Blair and the foundation for giving me the opportunity of a lifetime. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you, baby. Congratulations, Nadim, and your fellow Baha'i rappers. Now, I believe that you all inspired by another Baha'i rapper duo, Nabil and Arim, and we have a little surprise for you because they were kind of inspired by you too. Take a look at this.
Hi, Nadim. Congratulations on behalf of Kareem and myself on winning the musical category of the Faith Shorts competition. As fellow Baha'is, we are so proud of what you have achieved. Even more so when we found out that our music inspired you to be the change you want to see. You share our belief that young people have the potential to change the world for the better. Well done, and we hope to see you soon back in Canada.
Fantastic. Now, as you heard earlier from Tony, one of the main aims of the Faith Foundation and indeed of this competition is to give a voice to young people who wish to express their views about their faith and to help dispel negative and incorrect stereotypes. The films this evening have done this in a powerful and provocative way. And what's the next step for these young filmmakers? And how does the portrayal of faith on film affect our worldview? Young Pakistani filmmaker, musician and cartoonist Daniel Noorani has made a short film called Find Heaven, which begins to address some of these questions, blending modern film techniques and music and, of course, faith. So let's have a little clip.
Hey, what's going on over here? Something's just not right. My head is spinning with questions, but where are all the answers? Tell me, one by one they came and they said, do you see the truth? Just follow me, my friend, and you will find heaven. You haven't answered my question. The meaning of life and why there is injustice. Where's the God in this? Tell me, one by one they came and they said,
Brilliant. Really, really good. Well, Daniel has flown in to be with us this evening all the way from Pakistan to discuss these issues. So will you please put your hands together for Daniel. He is joined. Come, Daniel, up on the stage. He is... Welcome all the way from Pakistan. I'd also like to welcome onto the stage one of our most acclaimed filmmakers, a wonderful man. Will you please put your hands together for Lord Putnam? David, join us. We told you tonight was global. We also have joining the stage, the Grand Mufti of Bosnia, His Excellency Mustafa Šerić. And finally, to join the conversation, we have Imi Kaur, a young Sikh and one of the Faith Foundation's current Faith Acts Fellows. Imi, will you come to me? Thank you. Wonderful. So we're going to have a quick discussion about faith and the role that faith has to play in the creative community. So we'll start with you first, Daniel, all the way from Pakistan. You're not too jet-lagged, are you?
Oh, not at all.
That's good to know. Can you tell us why you thought it was necessary to make the film that we just saw?
Well, I made Find Heaven about 2 years ago, and the situation in Pakistan at that time was people I felt were apathetic about how they felt about terrorism. There wasn't much dialogue going about it, and I just wanted to not give my opinion on the subject. I wanted to initiate dialogue on it. So that was the impetus for my film, basically, putting something out there for people to consume and talk about, interpret it how they wish.
And where would you like the film to go to?
I mean, it's the best response that I got was it went to some students in a school in Pakistan, and I got an email from the teacher saying that the students liked it so much that they wanted to reenact the song on their school day. So that was the goal, to basically touch young minds, make them ask questions. We've talked about how powerful faith can be, but at the same time, blind faith can be a negative. We need to be inquisitive. We need to understand it. And that's one thing that I wanted to sort of hopefully spur with that film.
Well, I think you've done that. Congratulations. Thank you. Now, David, of course, you are one of our most respected filmmakers. How do you think faith is represented in film, in particular today?
I think it's got an incredibly important role to play. I had lunch today, as it happened, at a school in Southwark, St Saviour's and St Olave's, a girls' school. And one of the things that struck me was there was an enormous cross in the reception, and yet at least a third of the girls walking backwards and forwards were clearly Muslim. And no one seemed to notice, or it was not a factor. It was a school, a very successful school, and a school that had managed to create an extraordinary community. Anyway, during lunch, I was asking girls about their lives, the 15, 16, 17-year-olds, and almost every one of them, almost everyone, said in one way or another that they were fearful for the future.
Wow.
And what struck me coming over here from there this afternoon was the one thing that's allowed people to deal with fear down the millennia actually has been faith. And that possibly film can redefine faith for those kids in such a way as to make them feel better about the future, stronger about the future, and believe in themselves and believe in where they're going. And I think film can do that. I mean, I'm very lucky. We were just looking at all the European Film Awards shorts, and you see two things. You see extraordinary quality of young people's filmmaking, but also a degree of confusion in terms of what the world's about. And I actually think that faith, sufficiently deep-rooted, can give people direction and a sense of security about themselves, their future, and where the world's going. And the fact that it just might get through what appears to a lot of young people to be a nightmarish scenario lies ahead of them.
But how do you get these sorts of films made? It's very hard.
Well, truth is, Nick does it every day of his life at the National Film and Television School. It's a lot easier, given the technology we have today, for people to express themselves through film than it's ever been. Interestingly enough, I mean, Tony's done a remarkable job here, because I get the sense today, I was here last year, today I get the real sense this is something that's embedded. There will be a next year, Tony, for sure. And there'll actually be a 10th anniversary, and please God, I won't be here, but there'll be a 20th. So you've got something going here. And what makes it possible is the very, very simple technology that gives access and allows people to make films in exactly the same way that 10 years ago they would have been writing poems or stories. We're using the medium in the future for people to express themselves. That's fantastic.
Brilliant. Now, Tony, why do you think it's so important to get these issues across to the mainstream, and in particular with the creative community?
Well, I think film's a great way of getting a message across, and it's something that excites people. They want to watch it. And one of the things that you learn after a lifetime of making political speeches is that they're not always so interested in listening to political speeches, but what people do and can get hold of is the immediate impact and creativity that comes from the arts and from film in particular. And I mean, I just think what is interesting about all the entries that we had was that there was an incredible vitality behind them and a determination by the young people that were making the films that they were going to make a statement. And it's quite a brave statement, actually, to make, that faith is a source of good.
Yeah, especially for young people.
Yeah, and for people to be prepared to go out there and say, actually, my faith is really about compassion for other people, I mean, that is a tough message to make, and probably particularly in certain countries and particularly in schools. So I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I've been absolutely thrilled and wish I was under 18 again. But I'm not.
No. And for those of you that are, enjoy it. Only lasts a year.
Yeah, enjoy it. That's right. It's good advice, that. Take that to heart.
Exactly, enjoy it. Now, Your Excellency, how do you think the positive portrayal of faith can really help areas that are marked by conflict, in particular with what happened in Bosnia?
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
For this night in London. Assalamu alaikum and good evening to everybody.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum.
I don't know why Tony Blair has chosen me to be a judge in filmmaking.
I could spy the hidden talent there.
If my teachers would be able to watch me now in London talking about filmmaking, about faith, they would really ask, what did they teach me? Did they teach me about filmmaking or about Islamic religion? Anyway, but I think I enjoyed that. Thank you very much. And can I discover some secrets here?
Yeah.
Provided, don't tell anybody, please.
Yeah, okay. All right, sir.
I did ask some assistance from some Bosnian producers to help me to judge this. You don't judge me on that.
I never doubted
because and then you gave me the chance to learn about the film, and I start like it.
Oh, good. It's good to know.
And I will really recommend to others to watch film and to see that film is very powerful. Powerful tools.
So next year we now got a Grand Mufti category.
That will be very interesting. Well, thank you very much. I really am honored to be part of this idea of making faith in films and giving the chance to all these teenagers, because when they are happy, we who are older becoming more happier than them. Because what is the purpose of our life than to give the chance to those who come after us to be happier than we are and to live the better world than we are living. And therefore, regarding your question, I would say experiencing almost 17 years of being in the concentration camps of Sarajevo and then in post-war recovery, I just want to tell you something that I learned. You know, we have two different pains in our life. It is pain in body and pain in soul, in spirit. Okay, if you are injured in your body, you can recover. You see the sports. Who is watching tonight Chelsea? And I don't know who is going to win anyway. But because I'm in London, I am for Chelsea tonight.
Okay, good for you.
Now, and when I see these soccer players, they are jumping over each other and they are hurting each other, really.
Yes, seriously.
And there is a lot of pain.
Yes.
But they are recovering very soon, in a second.
Getting
This medical doctor comes to them and just puts something, sprays them in there, and they are just recovering. Now, we have the pain which is in our soul, which is very difficult to recover, and it is very deep.
Yes.
And I saw these people. Faith is the best painkiller that we can find. I don't believe in Marxism, and I don't like Marx very much. But I do believe that he is right when he said that religion is an opiate for people, but in a positive way. What is the painkillers of our physical injuries? This is drugs, isn't it? So we need something to kill our pain in our soul, and there is no better than this one. Let me give you an example. I have a mother, a Bosnian woman, who lost 6 sons and a husband. 6 in one day. In 1992, I visited her in her house in Prijedor. Can you imagine what is in her head when she goes to sleep at night? And how she gets up every morning knowing that 6 sons. But you know what she tells me? The only thing that kills her pain every day is her belief that their sons and husband are in the heaven. There is no other medical painkiller than the faith. So we need faith, we need trust, we need each other, and we need Tony Blair Faith Foundation to provide us these very short and very nice films, and I use this opportunity to congratulate to all the winners. We are very proud of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you very much.
Can I now do something which is not in the protocol?
You may. Hey, the stage is yours.
Because I'm coming from Sarajevo. Sarajevo is the city, as they say, the first Jerusalem in Europe and the second Jerusalem in the world. And I do believe that. I just want to show you what my grandfathers did for our fellow Jews. You know that they were expelled from Spain in 1492, and they came to Sarajevo, and my grandfathers received them, 70,000 of them. they brought with them a book called Haggadah, which is the second to the Jewish Torah. I brought one copy to give to Tony Blair Faith Foundation. I think it is here. Somewhere is supposed to bring me.
It should be.
Is he here?
He ran off with it.
Probably later on. But this Haggadah I will give to Tony Blair later, if not this. But I hope it will arrive in the meantime.
Yes. Well.
So this Haggadah shows that it is old 500 years. It was saved twice by a Muslim in Sarajevo. Once in the Second World War during the siege of Sarajevo of Nazis, when a gentleman came to take this, yes, it is here, Haggadah, very good. It's called the Sarajevo Haggadah. There was a book written about it, the story about it. And when this gentleman came to pick up in the museum this book, because the Nazis was looking after it, the Muslim said, just before you came an officer and took it with him, and he asked him, do you know his name? He said, how could I ask what is his name? You know the Nazi officer, how he looks like. So, but he took the book in his house and he saved the book. And the second time was in the, when the National Library of Sarajevo was burned by Serbian forces in 1992, which was the exactly the 50th anniversary of the burning of the library in Cordoba. Please, Mr. Blair, I am very glad on behalf of my grandfathers, on behalf of all Muslims around the world, I want to show you how Muslims take care of the books. So just I want to tell you that those who want to burn the Quran, I will tell him the time of burning the books is finished. We are here to save the books. Good to show.
Yes, look after that book.
I am, don't worry.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Imi, over to you. Now, obviously, the role of film has been a real hot topic in the Sikh community. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, first, I'm a bit nervous of how to follow all
I
this.
know. Do you have a present?
I don't have
do you have a
anything
gift?
to give you.
Well, I don't know, that's very bad. I mean.
But I'm sure I can sort something out at the end. No, as a Sikh, I've been part of many conversations in the community and often through social media in the way in which many young people are disappointed with how faith is portrayed in the media, but particularly for the Sikhs as a minority community, most places around the world. They've been really disappointed, for example, in film, how often a turban-wearing Sikh is, in Bollywood, for example, has been portrayed as the joker, kind of the butt of the jokes, and a stereotype is kind of built around that. And I think at face value, that can be a very trivial, perhaps seem a very trivial issue. But when you're looking more deeply into minority rights and some of the things that Tony's spoken about recently in Milan, you'll start to realise that in order to protect minority rights, you have to understand where they're at, and often they feel very voiceless. So for the Sikhs, and I know for many other communities, it's been disappointing the way in which faith has been portrayed in film. As a Faith Act Fellow as well, I work at very much the grassroots end of the Foundation's work, and I often see that many young people are disappointed with the way in which their faiths are portrayed in the media and in film. So I think that Faith Shorts and many of the other projects within the Foundation offer an amazing platform to be part of an alternative story. I know that's what motivated me to come into this work, and I believe that Faith Shorts is a brilliant way to really promote that message. I hope that in the future more Sikhs and many more young people of faith will be really encouraged to take part in this competition, and yeah, I definitely hope that there's a 10th anniversary and hopefully I'll still be here then.
And you'll bring a book with you?
Yes, I'll definitely bring a book.
Thank you. Can we have a round of applause for our panel, please? Thank you all very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have... Okay, John Ferris. I would like to... Oh, you know what I did? We actually have a couple of questions from the audience that I didn't ask. I moved a bit early. So, panel, you can stay where you are because this is actually about the audience. So we should have a question from Tony Ford in Nottingham. Tony, are you there? Yes, sorry, I'm so sorry. How could I forget you?
How can teachers help encourage positive representation of faith in film through their students? Did everybody get that one?
Tony? Sorry.
It's going to be me.
It's going to be you. It really is.
I mean, look, the best way of doing this is through actually showing them how different young people see their own faith and see the world through their own faith. And the thing that's most interesting, I mean, when you actually hear young people talking about their faith, they talk about it in a very personal way. When they then hear other young people talk about a different faith in the same type of personal way, I think it's the human connection that really makes the difference. And that's when people start to see that, you know, we come at it with our different rituals and doctrine and theology and beliefs, but we actually can see that the same sort of energizing force of faith within us is compelling us to do the same things in the same way. So I think that's the best way that teachers can do it. And I think there's a real, you know, I always say to people about the Face to Faith program that we've got, which is about schools linking up through the internet and so on. And, you know, thousands of youngsters every week take part in our programs now across the world. And I always say that it's not about proselytizing or converting people for a religion. It's actually about understanding religion. It's about understanding faith. And it's about understanding other people. You know, and that is the key thing. And teachers, I think, can play an enormous part in that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tony. Okay, our next question is from Harris Alvey. Harris, are you here? And Harris is actually a shortlisted filmmaker. So, Harris, you have a question.
Yeah. My film explored the challenges that Muslims face and the stereotypes that they're put into quite a lot. How do you think these issues can be put into in film?
And I think what might be a good idea is, Tony, if you answer it, and then David, if you could too, we can hand you the mic. So, Tony, if you go first.
Yeah. I think by making the types of films that you and others have made, I mean, that's the best way of doing it. I mean, this is a battle in the end where if something terrible is happening, it's just the way the world works. It's going to make more impact. It's on the news programs. Everyone sees it. To give a message that's about love and harmony and compassion and getting on with each other, you know, that doesn't always lead the news in my experience.
No.
So, you know, that's the best thing is for you to take the future into your own hands. And I think the more young people do this and then exchange with each other, because that's the interesting thing. You know, I always say I grew up in the northeast of England, in County Durham, and I remember the day I met my first non-white person, right? I actually remember the day because everyone was the same in my community, right? We were all lived the same, and looked the same, etc. And I was 12 years old, right? So it's a long time to go without actually understanding it. No, but that's the way we were brought up. Today's world here in London, it's everyone coming together. Now, I personally think this is exciting. It's not something to be frightened of and threatened by, and that's why I hate some of the political language that creeps into this, that sees people who are different as a threat and all the rest of it. It's not. It's a fascinating, exciting world. But what you can do through the power of your film and creativity as young people is you can show that we are excited by this world, and what's more, we're going to make something of it, and we're going to make it together and not separate or divided or in discord.
Exactly. And Daniel, if you would.
Yeah, I have a few points just to, I think Tony eloquently covered what I would say, but you've basically started the ball rolling, like you've taken the initiative to identify your faith and you've got people to see this audience, people online. So you've started it. With regards to Muslims in particularly, one thing is that we have a particular set of issues that we as a community need to discuss. Like, you know, these are problems that inherently we should be brave enough to discuss, and we should not be afraid to, you know, challenge them internally and then show that there's a group of Muslims out there who's trying to show a different aspect of Islam.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great questions. So now I'd like to invite to the stage John Forrest of the Insight Film Festival to tell us a little bit about his film festival and the great work they are doing around faith in film. Welcome, John.
Thank you, June. And it's a great pleasure to be here. How can I follow that? Well, there was a preacher who preached an utterly amazing sermon which moved everybody deeply, and it won a massive award. And the people said to him after that was so moving and so deep, what's the secret of how you won that award? And he said, I will tell you the secret, my friends. The secret is that every word came from God. And the people looked at him and said, well, it wasn't that good. And the moral is we need people to talk about God. Now, Faith Shorts and the Insight Film Festival share two very important ideas. That in world history, the issue of faith has never been more important, and that we should encourage filmmakers to be creative in encouraging us to enjoy faith as well as exploring it and understanding it. Well, over the past weekend in Manchester, which of course is the most happening media city in the UK at the moment, the Insight Film Festival has been networking with filmmakers from around the world. Many of them are new entrants to the film profession, and that's a difference to Faith Shorts, because they're all over 18. They come from all faiths and none, and we certainly, of course, expect tonight's winners to be winning our awards very shortly, don't we? So this year, one of our young filmmakers from New York is going to be visiting Italy as part of her award, and a UK filmmaker has won the chance to attend a workshop at ICAR, the Paris International Film and TV School. Well, I'm excited that the Insight Festival itself is growing by partnering with those who share our vision. Our main associate, Coexist, is helping us to grow, and that's along with organisations as diverse as Framing British Muslims and the UK Rationalist Association. And so we're delighted, of course, to count Faith Shorts as one of our friends, and thank you, Mr. Blair. So now, in less than 3 minutes I'm hoping to inspire you with a small taste of the nearly 300 films we received from around the world for the Insight Film Festival. They deal with life, with death, and other issues which I hope you'll agree are of transcendent importance. Thank you.
Either you've got it or you haven't. I think it's genetic. You're born with it, and some people definitely have it. You can't travel anywhere physical to find it. You just look inside.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, because at the end of the day you look at people's lives and either they were lucky or unlucky. Was that something that was written once they were born or not?
London's cyber prophet remains elusive despite a growing following. There are no pictures of him, and he refuses to be interviewed.
I want to be a psychologist or an actress. I haven't decided yet. Do you know, my parents are just like yours. They support me in whatever I want to do. I can go out with mates.
Well, what about lads?
I can have male friends if I want.
The Muslim ones?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Well, I can go out with who I like. Doesn't matter.
Would you go out with me?
No.
There you go, then.
السلام ومنك السلام تباركت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Let us pray today also for members of our congregation who are currently mourning the recent passing of a beloved father, grandfather, and dear friend to many, Mr. Morris Hicks.
John, when is the film festival?
Well, it finished on Sunday.
Finished on Sunday.
Get your entries in for next year.
For next year, there you go. Well, congratulations, some great entries there. Okay, now back to our winners and to the final award of the evening. The overall winner of the Faith Shorts 2011 award. The prize is to make and edit a film of their choice with a professional film crew, kindly provided by Silverfish Media. And to announce the winner, he's been with us all evening. I think you know who it is. Tony Blair again.
Right, this was an incredibly hard decision, as all the winning films, as you can see, were amazing. But the winner of Faith Shorts 2011 is Be the Change You Want to See.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to receive a second award tonight. But let's give a hand to Paolo and Enba for their awesome video submissions. I just would like to thank the foundation, all the organizers, all the judges for taking their time and sacrificing it to make this happen. Thank you. I'll pass. Thank you.
This boy's going to be a politician, I can tell. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, I just have to say, it's just so wonderful to see all of these amazing, amazing films tonight. And I was really touched when I found out that this film in particular was inspired by the London riots back in August. So, you know, thank you very much for that, Nadim. You are a living and breathing example of what the Faith Foundation is setting out to achieve, to help build understanding between different faiths by getting young people in particular to work together and to take action on issues of concern. So well done and congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you to everyone watching around the world, and thank you all for coming tonight, and I'll hand over to Tony to close the ceremony.
Right. Well, the very first thing I want to do is to thank June, who's come all the way over from America to do this. She is a fantastic, amazing, wonderful person, as you can see. She's also one of my very favorite people in the world. And for her to come and do this tonight, I am so, so grateful to you. So thank you, June. I'd like to also thank all the judges and the panelists, and to say I should have known better than ever to share a stage with Omid and the Grand Mufti. It was always going to be interesting. But most of all, thank you to all of you who are watching from different parts of the world, all of you who took part, and all of you who made the competition happen. And, you know, I think creating these opportunities is really what the Faith Foundation is about. It's opportunities for young people across the world to participate in a competition that challenges their thoughts, their horizons, and allows them to express their feelings about their faith and about what they see in the world around them. And, you know, events this year have shown us how much there is still to do. And we can only stage competitions like this with your support. So we want to continue to tell these powerful stories, work with young people around the world to show them the good that faith can do, and help inspire the next generation of leaders. So I'd like you please to support our work and help us grow in years to come. And if I can just say this final thing to you, I think this is the idea that can change our century for the better. I think when we listen to the young people talk tonight, and we see them standing up and proud of their faith, proud of what their faith inspires them to do, I think we can understand that there's no way the world can work, or the modern world can work, unless there is some sense, deep sense of values and compassion and solidarity, and a sense that we are what we are in part because of the other. And this is the thing that faith at its best can give us. A deep sense of humility, a deep sense of respect and love for other people, and a sense that whatever time we occupy in this world, we in one sense hold the world in trust for the generations that come after us. And faith at its best does this. Right? And when I see all the negative descriptions of faith, I think of the people who do extraordinary and selfless work around the world, inspired to do that by their faith. That is the true face of faith, and it's the one that these people who've made these films, these young people who have supported us from around the world have shown tonight. So thank you all very, very much indeed. This has been a significantly bigger competition this year than last. I think next year's is going to be even bigger. We're going to carry on growing and growing as we should do. And we're doing it because it matters and also because we enjoy doing it. So thank you all very, very much indeed, everyone, for coming along tonight. Thank you, all the judges, June, everybody who's given their time to do this. We're going to go from strength to strength, and this year has been fantastic. Next year is going to be greater still. And above all, thank you to the winners. Thank you.
And just to wrap things up, I will say, as Tony did say, please do help Faith Shorts and the work that the foundation does. There are direct debit forms under your chairs, and there are people at the door with buckets ready to receive anything you can give. So do dig deep and give generously, because, you know, this is to do great work. Now it's time for drinks and canapes, so you can all socialise and learn about each other's faith. So we'll meet you all in the David Lean room. Thank you very much. Good night. Fabulous. Where's this one?